Welcome to the first session of the General Operation Management Module, Auditing Quality. After this session, you'll be able to explain the purposes and the benefits of a quality audit. You would also be able to identify the content of an audit. In this session, we'll be discussing what a quality audit is, and most importantly, we'll be focusing on the internal quality audit in your business. This session is designed to convey the knowledge and methods of an internal quality audit to help you conduct an internal quality audit in your own business as SMEs. So let's define an audit. An audit is a systematic, independent, and documented process for obtaining audit evidence and evaluating it objectively to determine the extent to which audit criteria have been fulfilled. For the purpose of this program, we'll be looking at what a quality audit is. A quality audit is the process of systematic examination of a quality system carried out by an internal or external quality auditor or an audit team. And there are three types of quality audits. One is called the first-party audit. This is internal, and the purpose for this is to provide information for management review. And this is done on behalf of the organization itself. The second audit type is called the second-party audit, and this is external. The purpose of this audit is to determine whether an organization is reliable, and this is done on behalf of the organization's customers. And lastly, third-party audit. This is also external. The purpose of this audit is to gain a certificate or to assess against designated standards. This is done on behalf of an independent organization. For the purpose of this program, we'll be focusing on the internal quality audit, IQA. The internal quality audit is a management tool and an effective aid to improve the quality system in an organization. The internal audit is in-house and is carried out by staff within an organization to verify that the internal systems are compliant and suitable to achieve organization objectives. The IQA is a management tool and focuses on improving quality systems to enhance customer satisfaction. As SMEs, do we conduct IQA in our businesses? The purposes of IQA in our businesses would be 1. To provide objective measurement results. 2. Assure the implementation of quality management systems. 3. Assess conformance to defined objectives stated in our businesses. And 4. Identify opportunities for improvement. So what are the benefits of the IQA? It provides input for management decisions, 1. 2. It helps the SME identify the root cause of any problem in the business. 3. It also helps the SME take any immediate corrective action. And lastly, the SME can also take preventive action based on the IQA. So who are the key players in the IQA? This will be the management and the quality management representative, the functional department, and also the auditor. Let's take a look at the responsibilities of the auditor in the IQA. 1, the auditor is meant to carry out the quality audit. 2, the auditor is meant to identify discrepancies in the IQA. The auditor also records its audit findings. 4, it reports the audit results. And lastly, it follows up on the verification activities in the IQA. Let's look at the audit preparation phase. The audit preparation phase consists of everything that is done in advance by the audit team to ensure the audit complies with the audit objectives. If the preparation for an audit is inadequate, the audit team risks wasting time during the audit performance stage or conducting a mechanical audit on the basis of a canned checklist. An unprepared auditor may focus on an area of interest or knowledge or spend more time in a conference room than in the work area. Such an audit is of limited value since it fails to properly assess the quality system and waste resources. The preparation phase is very important, and the content of the phase includes the steps shown on the screen. Identification of IQA resource requirements. The quality management representative should recognize the identification of IQA resource requirements and monitor the audit program to ensure the IQA program proceeds smoothly. QMR should monitor audit service performance, auditor performance, and value-added contributions by data collected over time, reflecting ongoing program performance. Internal auditor team members can be chosen from an internal auditor pool. These people have been assessed trained, monitored, and supported by top management. So let's now take a look at the content of an audit schedule. Number 1, the purpose of the audit. Number 2, the scope of the audit. Number 3, the performance standards. Number 4, who are the team members? Number 5, the documents required. And finally, the time schedule. The QMR is based on the annual IQA plan and requires team leaders to prepare the IQA schedule for each group. The schedule should be reviewed and approved by top management and communicated to the auditees. Let's look at the criteria in selecting an internal quality audit team. Auditors should be chosen from the developed and available auditors pool of the company. They should be, number 1, independent. From their daily work, auditors should not audit their own team or department. Number 2, they should also be competent. They should have the required skill and attributes. They should meet the requirements. And lastly, they should be experienced. They should have either observed or conducted an audit before. Note, the internal auditors can gain auditing experience by participating in company audits conducted by an external auditor a few times. Eventually, these internal auditors can perform the audits themselves. After the selection of an IQA team, there should be a team leader to lead the audit team. What will be the responsibilities of the team leader? Number 1, to establish the IQA schedule. Number 2, conduct the opening and closing meetings. Number 3, the team leader should manage and assist the audit team. Number 4, the team leader should represent the audit team as well. Number 5, the team leader is responsible for making final decisions. Number 6, the team leader would complete the audit report. And lastly, the team leader directs follow-up activities. It is to be noted the team leader has the ultimate responsibility of the satisfactory performance of all phases of the audit, as well as for the professional conduct of the audit team members. So what are the responsibilities of these team members? 1, to study related audit documents. 2, to establish the audit checklist. Number 3, conduct the audits following the schedule. Number 4, complete the non-conformance report. And finally, follow-up activities. Let's now review the following statements shown on the screen as either true or false. Number 1, the purpose of a quality audit is to identify errors and assign responsibilities for those errors. Is that true or false? That's a false, because an audit helps in finding the areas of non-compliance of products, processes, or systems compared to the agreed standards in order to identify appropriate corrective actions. Number 2, the auditors must have technical knowledge in the field they audit. Is that true or false? That's also a false, because it's not necessary the auditors should have expertise in the field in which they are carrying out an audit. During an audit, auditors may discover, using their auditing skills, whether actual practices are in compliance with procedures which might otherwise be obscured by foreknowledge. Question 3. The audit plan should be discussed with the auditees. Is that true or false? This is actually true. And number 4, an audit checklist must be rigidly adhered to in order to ensure consistency of an audit result. Is that true or false? That is a false. Audit checklist must be used as a flexible guide. Let's now look at the steps involved in conducting the audit. Number 1, conducting interviews with relevant staff. Step 2, reviewing related documents and records. Step 3, observing the site and working processes. And finally, holding an auditor's team meeting before the closing meeting. These steps will consist of 3 elements: the data collection phase, the analysis and review phase, and observation of work activities. There are 5 methods of auditing, and they are the tracing method, the sampling method, the exploration method, the investigation method, and lastly, the functional audit method. Auditors could choose some methods when conducting an audit, but with any method chosen, the auditor must use the auditing skill, which is the interview, the observation, and data analysis. The sampling, exploration, and investigation method will likely be familiar to you SMEs, but tracing and functional audit method may be unfamiliar. But the two basic audit methods are the tracing and functional method. Tracing is a common means of collecting objective evidence during an audit. To trace means to follow the progress of something as it is processed. The item being traced may be tangible or intangible. For example, information. The way to start is to pull out the flowchart of the activity and begin either at the beginning, middle, or end the process. Gather information on the process factors such as methods, machinery, materials, manpower, measurements, and environmental condition for each step or the step you have chosen to trace and determine if it conforms to the quality standard. The functional audit method, the auditor may start from the departmental organization chart or job description of each position to verify that the responsibilities and duties of each position conform to the defined procedures. The auditor should focus on the key positions or the positions affecting the quality and safety of the product and the quality system. Let's discuss briefly what an audit report is and the two types of audit reports. An audit report is a written opinion of an auditor regarding an entity's financial statements. And there are two types of audit reports. Number one, the overall report, and number two, the detailed report. The overall report provides the overall information about the whole audit process. This is prepared by the team leader, whereas the detailed report is commonly prepared by the team members, basing on findings at areas where his or her responsibilities lie. So, what is the content of an audit report? Number one, the purpose and scope of the audit. Number two, the participating team members. Number three, the audit date, location, and standards. Number four, list of non-conformances. Number five, the conclusions. And lastly, request for corrective preventive actions. The purpose of the quality audit report is to communicate the results of the audit to management. The report should provide correct and clear data that will be effective as management aids in addressing important corrective actions for improvement. The audit report provides an additional source of information to assist management in their quality system evaluations. The audit report will be issued by a team leader. And finally, the audit report will be distributed to senior management at the end of the section being audited. We have come to the end of session 1. As earlier said, we've looked at the purposes and benefits of a quality audit. We've also been able to identify the content of an audit report. And most importantly, how internal quality audit, called IQA, can help improve the quality system in our businesses as SMEs. It is now time for you to take your end of session.